But when you get to big emotional musical number and Celine Dion actually turns up,
Oh dear.
it was like,
Why?
no thanks.
What would you give this film out of 10 then, Tim?
I'd give it 7.25, maybe.
7.
I enjoyed it, but like I say, some of the cameos and some of the other elements, kind of, the Usher one is just, like I said, I
Just terrible.
heard about it before I saw it, but I hadn't expected it to be quite that gratuitous.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Need for Speed. Now, I put down many months ago that I thought that from the trailer this was a massively presumptuous film. Now, Tim, I believe that I was right.
Yes, you were right.
Yes.
I am a huge fan of Aaron Paul. I've watched all of Breaking Bad, and he, for me, was... Everyone likes to talk about Bryan Cranston, but for me, it was Aaron Paul, who I hadn't seen him do anything else, but the guy is absolutely brilliant, and he was in a series filled with many great characters. I think Gus Fring being a close second. He was my favourite. And I kind of follow him on Twitter and stuff, and he runs all these competitions, and he's done these like social media questions and answers where he seems like a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
I'm telling you all this because, as you can tell, Need for Speed is absolutely atrocious.
I always suspected that this was going to be a second-rate Fast and Furious film.
Yes, and literally, as I was watching the film, I was literally thinking the screenwriters must have devoured a screenwriting tome called How to Write a Fast and Furious Ripoff.
Yeah. But it wasn't the best of the bit How to Write a Fast and Furious ripoff. It was the one that you hide right down at the bottom of the pile.
It's like Fast and Furious with all the fun sucked out of it. Because watching this film, I'm not no disrespect to anyone who likes Formula One. I can understand its appeal on television, but if you. I don't know if any of our listeners have ever tried to listen to Formula One on the radio. That is possibly the worst radio experience you could possibly have, because all you hear is the commentary and then just the cars. Yes. And Chris described exactly what the experience of watching the Need for Speed film is like. That's just what it reminded me of all the way through. And the plot is so stupid because it takes about 40-50 minutes for Aaron Paul's character to get out of jail and start on the kind of path to redemption. The film had already gone on for an hour, and I kind of had a moment when I realised it must be only the end of the first act. And it's kind of Dominic Cooper. I like Dominic Cooper, but he's kind of generic villain 15. And all the other characters are, like I said, the generic Fast and Furious characters. And I don't know if this will come across as racist, but I'm going to do it anyway. Even down to the character in Fast and the Furious, who you could call generic black character. Yeah. It's not meant to. Like I said, I didn't mean for that to be racist.
I don't. It's. What the problem with this film that I thought is the Fast and Furious know that originally they were never a serious set of films. It was always a group of people who loved fast cars who just happened to race them all the time.
They have a sense. Certainly, the later ones, 5 and 6, have a sense of their own stupidity, which this film doesn't have.
When this film came out with its first trailer, where it was the classical music and the art house dialogue over the top of it, I thought, okay, so they've clearly decided that the people who originally liked Fast and Furious have grown up and are now listening to classical music and are enjoying art house films with Ryan Gosling in them, which I do instantly. Maybe not the classical music bit, but I do like the art house with Ryan Gosling. However, this is still a film about people racing fast cars. What's more than the Fast and Furious films, these are films about people racing ridiculously expensive, ridiculously overtuned fast cars. There are Bugatti Veyrons, there are Zondas, there are Ferraris, and all these kind of all these kind of cars are supercars, which no one can buy. Fast and Furious cars. Porsches, yeah, they're expensive, but they're not as expensive as a Lamborghini. Nissans, pretty standard cars. Okay, it was the Skyline, which is quite a bit more expensive than a normal Nissan, but it's still a Nissan. It's Golfs. It's all these kind of... There's muscle cars in there, but none of them are... Oh, let's just blow up a really expensive car because it's a really expensive car.
That literally does happen in the first act with the death of Aaron Paul's friend.
Yeah. That's why I think this film's failed. I think they've thought, all right, let's just go better and bigger and faster and more expensive than Fast and Furious, and I don't think that's what people want.
You've got it exactly right. And I was telling spoilers, but the film is terrible, so you should.
You don't need to see
it. I was telling Chris about this moment off air, and I need to tell you about the listeners.
Yeah, I think you do,
because it's so stupid. At the end, Aaron Paul and the character who we will call generic black character. Like I said, it's not meant to be racist, but it's kind of...
That's what he plays. That is the character.
Yes. And that stereotype also exists in Fast and Furious. He gets... it's revealed that his character got off prison for good behaviour because he started a keep fit program for all the prisoners inside the prison. And then... That's the end of the film, and then you get a little bit of credits, and then you get this mid-credit scene in which it's revealed that what this character was trying to do was teach the prisoners to twerk. It's like...
And there we have ridiculous. Coming up after the next song, we will be speaking about Non-Stop, and we will be rounding things up because we are rapidly running out of time, in fact. But coming up right now, here